Another brutal week on Wall Street for tech stocks, and the government shutdown chipping away at consumer sentiment. For investors trying to separate stock winners from laggards, Barron's has launched its new Investor Circle to help uncover smarter ways to navigate this market. Joining the panel is one of our experts from that circle, Barron's newsletter editor, Josh Schaefer. Josh, welcome to Barron's.
Thanks, Jack. Excited to be here.
So it's been a pretty good year for stock investors, volatile, but if you hung in there, you got about a 14% return to date, 7 weeks left in the year. How do you see it?
Yeah, Jack, I mean, it has been a very strong year for the S&P 500 when you really think about it from a full year perspective. But what's been interesting, I think, really this week is you've sort of lost your leadership a little bit, right? So tech has been driving this rally continuously once again this year. And this week, tech took a back seat, right? The NASDAQ just had its worst week. The NASDAQ composite, its worst week since early April. Remember, that was not a good time for the stock market. But you did see over 350 stocks in the S&P 500 close higher on Friday. And so interesting part of that is there's some strength within this market, right? There's opportunities in this market. And I think when you think about the last 2 months of the year going into 2026, kind of the pressing question, Ben, for investors is, where do I go now? There seems to be other things working. What's not an AI stock that I can play?
Yeah, and that's what we've always tried to do at Barron's, what we're trying to do with the Barron's Investor Circle. You know, we've always tried to go against the grain a bit. We're contrarians at heart, but you can't go against the trend if you get run over by the trend. So we have to be aware of that too. And so what we've done with the Circle is just try to have more of everything that Barron's subscribers love. We have more picks, we have more analysis. With those picks, we're including tools we never had before. We have a technical analyst who's looking at levels there to help us with risk management. We have quantitative analysis to let us know if this is a stock that's actually, is it getting better, is it getting worse? And we're putting all these things together, and we're trying to come up with stocks that are unfamiliar to people, but also stocks that people might know but are unloved right now. And hopefully that's going to work in an environment that's looking a lot more complicated than it was just a few weeks ago.
And for viewers who want to know more about the Circle, we've got a QR code. Point your phone right at that. Meantime, Josh, tell us about a known pick, but it's been shaky recently, Visa.
Yeah, so Visa was our pick this week, and the interesting thing with Visa is it's been a little bit of an underperformer in the S&P 500. Visa up about 6 or 7% this year compared to that 14% gain you mentioned with the S&P 500. What we're looking for is catalysts within stocks, right? Why hasn't the stock been working? With Visa, it was really a stablecoin issue. There was questions if stablecoins were going to take some of Visa's business. Quarter just happened. Guess what? Visa has their own stablecoin business now, and it's a growth engine for that company. So Teresa Rivas saying that she thinks that Visa can continue to rise over the next 12 months as that headwind starts to fade.
Yeah, and speaking of spending, I mean, the National Retail Federation is forecasting a record $1 trillion holiday spending season.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Is it all Elon Musk?
All Musk, 100% Musk. Yeah, you know, because the data is showing that consumers are getting a little cautious, and some are starting to lighten their spending, tighten their belts, especially those affected by the shutdown. But overall, they're expected to open their wallets.
All right, so that was a stock that is unloved. What about something that's unfamiliar?
How about a funeral home service owner, Ben, huh? Carriage Services, that's a ticker symbol CSV. That company is doing a roll-up strategy. They're buying a bunch of different funeral homes, sort of pooling those together, making more revenue from that. Their profit was up 85% year over year the last quarter. So that's a name that we like right now, too, which has been interesting.
Maybe a lightning round. Tell us about Peabody. I found that interesting. Coal, not exactly the next generation of energy providers, but we still need it.
Right, exactly. So clean energy is obviously where things are moving, but Peabody Energy is coal. They're still getting a lot of this energy demand that we're seeing from AI services. So that's BTU. That's been a name we've been watching and is one of the picks of ours as well.
Yeah, one fun thing I think is to make windmills, you need thermal coal. Right. So coal will be around for a while. Al, you have a pick as well.
Yeah, and maybe not a household name, Xylem. Think water. They do smart meters, filtration, water services for utilities. And it's what I like to do is look in sort of growth at a reasonable price, very stable grower. New CEO, that's a catalyst. Very focused on margin expansion, so you get nice, consistent top-line growth. You get double-digit earnings growth in a company that's been a real strong performer for years.
All right. And Ben, not everything is a buy or sell, right?
No, we're looking at some things we call on the radar. They're interesting stocks that we don't quite know what to do with yet, but we want to let people know that they're interesting.
All right, that sounds great. Thanks for starting this, Josh.